Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen.
Hello everyone and welcome to another season of Healthy at Home. My name is Bobbi, and if this is your first time joining us, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, exerciser, joining us for some fitness and fun, we're happy to have you back. We're going to go through some exercises to keep you moving in a way that works for you. Sometimes in life we have things happen and we have to take a step back and go back into things, and it's all about modifying things so that we can move in the way that works best for us. That's one of my favorite things, is to modify exercises, and that's why I got into fitness. So we're going to talk about tips, tricks, methods, and even dispel some myths when it comes to fitness, exercise, and wellness. So how this is going to go is you're going to chat with me for a bit. We're going to warm up the body to prepare the body for movement. We're going to move into an exercise portion, and we'll talk about different ways to do this. We're always going to have an option for seated if you wish to join us that way, and you can use equipment or not, and I'll talk you through that. And then we're going to cool down the body. We're not done yet. At the end, we're going to have an interview portion to kind of keep you up to date on some of the new fitness and wellness trends. So we're going to prepare that body with the warm-up, as I said. I'm going to do this standing. If you would like to do this seated, please do. But what I want you to do is make sure your space is nice and clear. I do have a dumbbell close by at my setup here, my exercise space, but I'm going to make sure it's in an area that I'm not going to be able to trip on it. I'm visually impaired, so sometimes not knowing where I put things can be a little bit of a hazard. So I usually make sure that it's clear of pets. I know my retired service dog likes to knock me over sometimes. So pets, projects, people, or if you want to exercise with a buddy, just make sure you have enough room. Have some water close at hand so you can stay hydrated, and let's get warm. So to start off, so you can sit nice and tall in a chair or stand, and I want you to think of your body as a stack of blocks or a stack of Legos, so that we're not hunched over, we're not tilting back. We want to be as stable as we can with our core. So if you think of, actually even Jenga blocks comes to mind, because if you take one out of place, everything kind of goes sideways. So I'm going to be nice and tall, shoulders down the back, and often it's just habit. Our chin is either forward or back. So I'm going to take 2 fingers, put them on my chin, and just gently draw that chin back so my neck is in line with the spine. It's all that stack of blocks or Jenga. Okay, so this one is a little bit funny. It's funny for me anyways. We're gonna shoulder check. So my hands are hanging down, palms are facing my thighs. You can even have them on your lap. I am just simply going to turn my head and look over one shoulder. I'm looking over my right, look over whichever works for you, and back to center. Now, I don't drive, so this is especially odd for me, because when my girls drive, apparently I shoulder check. And they always say, "Mom, what are you doing?" And I'm gonna look to the left. Same thing, getting a stretch in that neck. Return to center, and you're gonna repeat. We never wanna force this movement. Shoulder checking, and to the center, and to the other side. And sometimes I think it really, when people don't know me and they see a blind lady in a car shoulder checking, it freaks them out a little bit, and I get a little bit of a giggle. We're gonna do this one more time to each side. And center. And last time. And that feels really, really good. Okay, and back to center. I'm gonna do just chin tucks. So you're gonna drop your chin towards your chest, lengthening the neck. And you can do this, like I said, standing or sitting. I do this at my desk quite often, bring it back to center. We don't want to force this movement. We're always gentle with the neck. And dropping it down, bringing it back up to be that stack of Legos. And dropping the chin down. You're going to hear me talk about those Legos or Jenga blocks quite a bit. And back up. Oh, I do this one so many times in a day, it feels great. And last time. Dropping it down. And back up. You can give it a little shake or a wiggle. Sometimes it just feels good to give my shoulders a little bit of a shake. So we're going to pick up the pace a bit and move some larger muscle groups to get the blood flow going. Okay, so that we've done something that feels quite good. This is going to feel good, but it's going to get the heart pumping just a little bit more. So I'm going to give you a couple options here. So we can swing our arms, so seated or standing. Our arms are hanging down at our sides. Nice and tall, don't let that posture fall. Okay, I think of bringing my belly button in and up, but I can still breathe. Breathing is an integral part of exercise. So those arms are hanging nice and loose, but I'm going to bring them way up high, right above my head, so reaching towards the sky, and your eyes can just follow. And swing those arms down. It's almost like you're racing downhill. And up and down. Now I'm going to add a knee bend because I'm standing. Up, swing it down, up, swing it down, up, swing it down. And we got two more. Up, swing it down, up, swing it down. All right, so what I'd like you to do is make sure you grab a drink, and exercises are up next.
Get ready to exercise. Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen. We'll be right back. Let's exercise. Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen is back.
Now this episode is called First Floor. We all start somewhere, and sometimes we have to restart. But today, you can join me on the floor. I'm seated on the floor, but everything that we're doing in this exercise portion can be done seated and it can be done standing, so you have some flexibility. So I want to meet you where you're at that very first floor, and we can climb from there. So sit up nice and tall, or if you're with me on the floor, I'm on my mat. I am going to lay down onto my back. You might hear me creaking and crunching. Now my knees are bent and my feet are flat on the floor. My neck is nice and long. So what I mean is I want you to imagine you're holding a big giant orange between your chin and your chest. So you're just going to tuck your chin slightly. Going back to those movements we did in the beginning for the warm-up, that's a big chin tuck. This is just a little one to elongate the neck. Now, often when we lay down, there's a gap under our back. So we want to imagine relaxing our back in towards the mat. And if you're sitting, you're that stack of Legos or stack of Jenga with everything in its place. Imagine relaxing your shoulders down the back, whether you're sitting or you're standing, because there's nothing like having your shoulders in your ears. That creates more tension. Your belly is nice and tight. So if I were to poke you in the belly button, it's just nice and firm. So you think of drawing that belly button in and up. You are welcome to use dumbbells if you are used to using dumbbells. Otherwise, I'd like you to just get used to the form of these exercises. So make sure you're breathing. Don't hold your breath. I'm going to start off with my arms straight down at my sides. For me, my palms are on the floor. If you're sitting, your palms are facing behind you. So I'm going to raise my arms straight up out of my shoulder joints, up above, straight up. So my fingertips are reaching towards the sky. Now I'm going to make fists. So if you're holding dumbbells, you're going to hold them here. If you're seated, you're going to raise your arms so they're straight out in front of you, out of your shoulders. Now what I want you to do, in a former lifetime, I was a power lifter, and this is the action of the bench press, which is one of our events. So whether you're using weights or not, we're going to bend the elbows. They're going to come out to the sides as I draw my elbows, for me, back down to the floor, making goalpost arms. Okay, so think of bringing those weights down towards your chest with your arms at about 90, and then you're going to press them straight back up. Now, if you're in a chair, you're going to draw them just slightly behind your back, so those elbows are going to be bent, and you're going to draw them back just slightly behind you and press them straight forward again. Okay, so laying or seated, let's continue on. So my arms are straight up. I'm going to bend those elbows, bring it down, and press it up. You're going to feel your shoulder blades kind of squeeze, which is what we want. And down, bend those elbows. Imagine you're bench pressing 1,000,000 pounds, and press it up. And bend those elbows. And press it up. We have 3 more reps in this set. Bend the elbows, draw those weights or imaginary bar down towards your chest, press it up. 2 more. And down and up. And 1 more. Down and straight up. So you can, if you have weights, you can place that down. You can even use a broomstick for form. If you're unsure on the exercise, take a good listen through the set first, or watch and follow along with me before you give it a try, so your head is not turned trying to watch or listen to your screen, because we want that nice alignment. Now we are going to do this again. I've even done this with my white cane when I want stability so that my arms are equal. I have a shoulder injury, so I've used all kinds of things, a broomstick. So I've got no weights, I'm just using form. Imagine that air has some weight to it. You're moving through pea soup. Use your body as resistance. So I'm gonna raise my arms straight out in front of me if I'm sitting, or straight up towards the ceiling. If I'm lying down, I'm turning my palms. They would be, if you're sitting, they're gonna be facing the floor. If you are lying down, they are facing away. Make fists. Now your wrist and your elbow are in line, so you're not revving a motorcycle, so we're not bending back the wrists. That's where injury takes place. Set up that core nice and tight. Now bring that bar down towards your chest, or the imaginary giant amount of weights down towards your chest, bending the elbows, and press up and down. And if you're seated, this is straight in front of you, and press up. So drawing it back towards you, and press, and back, and press. Tighten that core, and down, press up or away. 3 more, and down, and press. Last 2, down, and press, and down, and press. So you would, if you're holding a broomstick or a bar, you would set that down, your dumbbells set down. You can shake it out if you want. This can also be done using elastic bands, but that's slightly different, but it works the same muscles. So just relax a little bit here, and then we need to reset. Okay, so tighten that core, pick up your weights if you've got them, raise those arms, make gentle fists, and we're gonna bend at the elbows, pull those weights down, press it up. Now, did you know you could do this one-armed? You absolutely can. Bring it down towards your chest or back towards your chest, depending on where you are, and press away, tighten that core. Bring it down and back up. And when I was rehabbing from injury, I absolutely did this one-sided, so one arm at a time. And down and back up. And we have 4 left. And down, and press. Imagine it's got some weight. And down, squeeze behind those shoulder blades, and press. Back down, and press. And last one, down. I'm just feeling the backs of my arms touch my mat, and press it away. Excellent. So we're gonna reset. And we're gonna swap the exercise out. So we're gonna move to a different exercise. Now, just for a little bit of fun, to give you a bit of the visual, I like things bright. Even if I can't see the colors due to vision loss, I like to wear bright things, and I enjoy artwork. So today I am literally tie-dyed and tattooed. I have tattoos all over my one arm, and I'm wearing some bright tie-dye colors because why not? I find it super fun. So wear something you're comfortable with, but have some fun with it too. We're gonna continue to work the chest. Once again, this can be done seated, standing, or lying down on the mat like I am. So I have not moved. My feet are flat on the floor. My shoulders are down the back. My back, I'm not gonna lie, it's relaxed up off the mat. So my posture is something I have to work on. So I am relaxing that back down. So I think of melting the back along the mat like it's a big puddle of ice cream in 30-degree weather. You're to tighten your core. So I don't know if anybody's ever had this happen. This is something my grandson does. He'll come running out of nowhere and like jump on me when I'm laying down. So that reflex where you know what's gonna happen, it's tightening that core. Okay, so you're gonna, if you have dumbbells, make sure they're the same weight. You can use them, 1 in each hand. I'm gonna take my hands, and I'll talk through the lying version first. Bring them straight up towards the sky. My palms are facing each other. Now, if you're seated or standing, you're gonna raise your hands up so that your palms are facing each other straight out of the shoulder joint. So it's right in line with your shoulders. Now, if you're not using weights, you're going to make gentle fists. Watch, you're not digging into your hands because that's just extra tension you don't need. Your wrist and your elbow and your shoulder are in line, so you're not revving that motorcycle back. Everything is in line, and we're going to open our arms straight out to the side. So I have just the slightest bend in my elbows. We call it just softening at the joints so your arms aren't locked. I'm going to open them straight out to the side, whether I'm laying, standing, or sitting, and bring it back up. And open. Imagine being a bird. And close. What is your core doing though? And open. And close. So if you're seated, don't draw your arms back behind you. And open. And close. The backs of my arms are just lightly brushing the mat. Open. And close. I think we have 4 more. And 4, open, close, squeeze that core. 3, and close. 2 more. That neck is nice and long. Open, and close. So think of this movement being controlled. You can control how much resistance you have by using your own body's resistance. Open, and bringing them straight back out of that shoulder joint. So relax. We'll just take a beat here and reset. Notice, are you holding your breath? If you're holding your breath when you're exercising, just try to make a conscious effort to breathe. Okay, we want to circulate that oxygen, and you're going to get better results being able to breathe. Okay, so I'm going to reset. If I were to grab my dumbbells, I will do that here. Straight up out of the shoulders, straight up towards the sky. Okay, or if you're seated, you want it straight out of that shoulder joint. Make the gentle fist, and we're going to open and close and open and close and open and close. We're halfway. Open, use control, watch that core, and close. Open with control, close, squeeze. Open and close. And we've got 1 more. So when I say close, watch that your arms are just coming about shoulder. They're coming straight out of the shoulders, so they're shoulder distance apart. Open and close. So you can shake it out, and I'd like you to continue on doing 1 more set, and we will continue with more exercises after the break.
Keep moving. Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen will be right back. Back to the exercises on Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen.
Nice work, everyone. Now we're going to continue on with that same theme with, you can do this seated, standing, or with me on the floor. I'm going to use a dumbbell for this next exercise, but you can utilize a soup can, a water bottle, your own body weight, whatever works for you. Remember, we're meeting you where you're at. So I'm just simply going to pick up my dumbbell. For those of you that are sitting, what I'd like you to do is you can either grab your dumbbell or take your hands. They're at your sides. You're going to raise them straight out of your shoulders, and you can go ahead and clasp your hands. So you're reaching out in front and clasping your hands, okay? For those of us on the floor, you can do that same thing. We're going to reach straight up towards the sky. Our palms are facing each other. You can interlace your fingers and clasp your hands here. So my arms are about chest height. So they're straight out of the shoulders. If you're going to use the dumbbell, you're going to pick it up, and you're going to use the dumbbell, one dumbbell with both hands. So watch the alignment of your wrists. So you don't want one arm rolling back. Arms are straight out of the shoulder joint. So my weight is straight up above my face, probably above my nose. Hold that big juicy orange between your chin and your chest. Tighten that core. I'm still lying with my feet on the floor. Now I'm going to raise my arms above my head. So behind me, reaching up and above. So if you're seated, reach up to the sky, and I'm going to bring it back straight out of my shoulders and behind with control. This is why I like using the weight for me. I get a bit of a stretch too, and up. Your rib cage is going to be the concern here. Lots of times people like to pop that rib cage. Think of your rib cage being nice and tucked in, so it's not moving when your arms move above your head. You want to try and keep it from jutting outwards. And up, back behind or above your head. And straight back up out of the shoulder joints or in front of you if you're sitting. And back. And bring it back to that starting position. We have 3 more. So behind my head, if I'm laying down, above my head if I'm sitting, and up or out of the shoulder joints. 2 more. Bring it back or behind, and up. And very last one here for this set. Back. And back to that starting position. I'm just gonna reset, so take a minute. If you got your dumbbells, you can put them down carefully. This is going to create strong shoulders and back, and I do feel a little bit of this in the chest. If you are a wheelchair user, you're constantly using those shoulder muscles. I am a guide dog and a white cane user. My shoulders suffer a lot. They get used in that sweeping motion or the forward motion of the dog, so I like to do things that are going to keep those muscles strong and prevent injury. So let's go into our second set here. What is that core doing? It usually likes to take a break between sets. Melt that back in towards the mat, or line up your spine like a stack of Legos if you're sitting. So my arms are straight up towards the sky, palms facing each other, or if you're seating, straight out of the shoulders, you can clasp your hands. And the weight comes up above the head or behind the head if you're lying, and raise it back or bring it back to that starting position. And raise or lift, and back to that center position. And bringing it up or back, and to the starting position, and again with control, controlling the abs, the rib cage, and breathe. And we're halfway. Bring it back, and to that starting position. 3 more, and back. Ooh, I can feel that. And to the starting position, and 2 more. And to that starting position. And my elbows, they're not locked. In case you're wondering, they have a little bit of a softness to it. And back. And to the starting position. And you can release that down. If you're using dumbbells, it's always best to start light. You never want to start super heavy because that's when injury can happen. Okay, so I'm doing approximately 3 sets of 8. And so if you're doing this at home, 3 sets of 8 to 10 is a good number to start with. If you are feeling tired or shaky, that's when you're going to stop and take a break and reassess. Okay, last set. Reset yourself. I bring my weight to that starting position or my clasped hands. So for lying, that's straight. For my hands to my side, I'm going to reach my fingertips towards the sky. If you're seating, straight out of your shoulder joints, and you're going to clasp your hands or grab your weight straight out of that shoulder joint. Now back or above the head. With the weight or your hands, use your body's resistance and straight towards the sky for me, or straight in front of you if you're seated. And back, and to that starting position, and back, and to the starting position, and back, and to that starting position. Now, if you're seated, don't bring this way behind your head. You want it just kind of above or just slightly behind the center line of the top of your head, your crown. And back, and to that starting position. We have 3 left. Back, my ribs are starting to pop up, so I gotta watch that. And back to the starting position. Sometimes that means if you can't seem to reset them, your body is starting to fatigue. Back, and to that starting position, and give me 1 more, and back, and to that starting position. Excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and put my weight down, my soup can down, my water bottle down. I got a little creative one year, and I had some empty Gatorade and water bottles. So you have to make sure whatever you're using is the exact same kind. So if it's a Gatorade, it's 2 Gatorades. We filled them full of play sand. It worked really well, and taped off the tops. So there's just a fun do it yourself at home tip. Now we're going to crunch. The beauty of doing a crunch is we can do it seated, standing, or lying. We're working on the upper portion of our abdominals. Our core is responsible for our stability. I don't know about you, but my balance, with vision loss, my balance isn't always the best, so a strong core helps prevent injury and helps with that balance. So it's something I like to always focus on, and our core is responsible for keeping us stable for all the movements that we do. So whether you're seated, standing, or lying down, I want you to think of that Legos again, or your stack of Jenga, your blocks. And we're going to make a curve, kind of a C with our upper body. Now you're going to take your hands, and I'm going to place them behind my head. So I'm going to reach behind my head, and you can either interlace them or just spread out your fingertips. I've got my thumb under that bony ridge at the back of my skull. So that's your occipital bone. You're going to place your thumb there, and your elbows are going to be open to the side. As you do this, do not pull your head, and don't crunch your elbows in towards each other. Think of them being open like wings. Your abs are nice and tight, and the movement from seated, standing, or lying is going to be the same. I want you to focus on your abdominals to lift you up. So you're going to nod your chin towards your chest a little more than holding an orange. Elongate that neck. And you're focusing on the upper part of the abdominals the most, okay? Now what I'm going to do is lift my body, so just the upper portion of my body, just past my shoulder blades. Either, if you're seated, you're going to bring that away from the chair, making a C shape, or off the floor. So I'm going to lift up, making a C shape, curling my nose towards my knees, and back down. So I'm not lifting any higher than just below that shoulder bone, so where that shoulder is. Now if it's less of a movement for you, that's okay. Okay, so we're going to repeat. Use your abdominals. Think of using your belly to bring you up, making that upper part of a C, and back down, and crunch, and back down, or back to neutral if you're standing or sitting. Now you can make this harder by bringing those abs in. So I don't want you sucking it, I want you to tighten it. You can also do this doing crunches with weights too. So crunch and back down. Keep those elbows open. Crunch and back down. And 3 more. Crunch and back down. Crunch and back down. And 1 more. Crunch and back down. So we're going to reset, and we're jump into another set. Okay, if you're feeling really shaky, you can take a little extra time. Bring those hands behind the head. Your thumbs are behind that bony ridge. Make that C shape. So drop your chin slightly towards your chest, a little bit smaller orange, and you're going to make that C shape and down. Keep those elbows open and up and back down and up and back down. Now I'm feeling this just above the belly button. Up and back down and up into that C and back down. 2 more. Up and back down. Keep those elbows open. Give me 1 more. Up and back down. Whew. So between sets, you can absolutely let those abs relax. You just want to make sure that you reset them before going into your next working set. Okay, so my shoulders are up by my ears. I'm going to relax them down, reset, hands behind the head, and let's go into our very last set and make that crunch and back down, crunch and back down, crunch and back down, and crunch and back down. And what I'd like you to do is give me 4 more, and after the break we're going to cool down.
Keep moving. Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen will be right back. Welcome back to Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen.
Now, after all your hard work, we're going to stretch things out. I hope you had a chance to grab some water. Staying hydrated is so important. I'm going to do my cool down in a seated position. I'm seated on the floor. You can sit in a chair. And I want you to think back to that exercise we did, which is actually called a fly, where you opened your arms straight out to the side like the wings of a bird. We're going to do that and take a stretch. So first of all, I'm just going to relax my arms. Mine are just on my lap. I'm going to bring them straight up out of my shoulder joint. So straight in front of me, my palms are facing each other, and I'm simply going to open my arms like a bird. Bring them open straight out to the sides. Get a good stretch across the chest and in the back. And now I'm going to bring them together, and my palms can touch. So I'm going to close the wings. Open. And if it feels good, you can look up when you open those arms. Exhale, bringing them closed and open like a bird. And close. And we're going to do 3 more. Big stretch, big breath. This feels so good on the chest and shoulders. Let's do 1 more. Open and close. So you can kind of shrug the shoulders around a bit, wiggle a bit. I'm going to take my legs straight out in front of me because I am sitting on the floor. This can be done sitting in the chair with your feet on a footrest or on the floor. I'm going to simply do a forward fold. So for me, my feet they're neither pointed nor flexed. Okay, so they're kind of neutral, but they're not open to the sides. My sides of my feet are together. I'm not going to lock my knees, so I'm not going to force my legs straight out. They're kind of in that softened position. So this is comfortable. I'm going to hinge at the hips, so whether you're seated or on the floor seated, hinge at the hips and begin to fold forward. Now I'm not going to drop my chin down. We want to keep our head higher than our heart after exercising. But I'm just going to nod it a bit, so I've got that smaller orange. If you want to, and you're on the floor, you can walk your hands down your legs, or I can put my hands beside me and walk forward. I want you to think of not rounding the back, but coming from that hip and folding like a grilled cheese, which is absolutely one of my favorite things. Soup and grilled cheese, that's the way to go. And now you can go ahead and just imagine relaxing your head. I'm not dropping it below my heart, but I'm just relaxing that head and neck and my shoulders. Whew, that feels good. I'm going to come up. And I'm going to do this again, but I'm just going to vary it a little bit because we can. So you can go with this version that we just did. I'm going to widen my legs. So not a super wide V, but comfortable. Okay? And I'm going to do the same thing, hinge at the hips with a long back. And I'm going to walk it forward. And now I'm going to relax my head. Enjoy the stretch. Breathe into the stretch. And what I want you to do is stay moving, stay motivated, and stay with us for the interview after the break.
Coming up on Healthy at Home, Bobbi practices a little smash therapy. We're back with health and wellness tips on Healthy at Home with Bobbi Janzen.
Okay, so since this is our first episode, we wanted to do something pretty epic. We do an interview at the end of each of the episodes, so always stay tuned. But I am here with Megan Mercer at Smash Therapy, and we're going to talk all things smash, and I think we're even going to get a chance to smash some things. I'm all geared up. I've got some pink gloves on, and I've got a baseball hat or a baseball bat in hand, and I've got safety gear on. So, yeah. Megan, tell us a little bit about what you do here.
Yeah, so we are here. We invite people to come as an individual, couples, friends, and small groups to relieve stress and have fun by breaking old junk. We're also partnered with some pretty amazing recyclers in town, so we don't have any extra environmental impact with what we're doing here.
That makes me super happy. So what is the impact on people's mental health? Can you speak to that a bit?
We have had such good response from the community about what we're doing here. We actually have 10 different therapy centers in town, counseling and wellness centers that are endorsing us. They've got discount codes so their clients have more accessibility to the space. And yeah, we just review really well, and we have a ton of repeat customers because of how good it makes people feel and how much fun they have.
I can definitely speak to that because I have visited before and tried a
Thank you.
few things. So can you tell everybody at home some of the things that, because I only tried a few things, what kind of items can people smash?
Yeah, so we have a collection of weapons, as we call them. And then we mainly do a lot of electronics. We're partnered with the Electronic Recycle Association, so they source us a lot of end-of-life items. We prepare them by taking some of the stuff out that might be harmful and recycling it separately, and then essentially people are kind of smashing the casings and what's, you know, appropriate. So yeah, computers, TVs, printers, people love that, like the office space kind of culture around that movie. Yeah, and then like old car windshields and car parts sometimes, and then household glass that is just kind of destined for the trash from various sources.
So what people draw some of their stress from, they can actually smash.
Yes.
I know I had an office phone at one point, long time ago, and it I could never set it properly. So that kind of thing we could smash.
Yeah, office phones, printers, whatever. It's like the best to have a team building event here and see, you know, your sweet little office lady who just treats everyone like gold rage out on a printer. It is the best because you know that they've put her in a bad mood more than once. So yeah, it's really funny.
So what are some of the weapons? I do have a bat in my hands. What other kind of weapons would you say you have in the rooms?
Yeah, crowbars. We've got some like wrenches, just really random stuff. Sometimes we'll get donations of even like old crutches. We'll throw that in there. So
Really?
They always break. But yeah, we go through a ton of stuff. Frying pans, though, is always a pretty funny one.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a mess in the kitchen some days, so that might be interesting. And safety is key here.
Yes.
Because I know you have me geared up, so safety is a big part of...
Yeah, we ask everyone to dress to save their skin. It really reduces waste in like either laundering or disposable suits. So what you're wearing is perfect. All your skin is covered here. And then we provide ear, eye, face, head, and hand protection for everyone.
Now, I am thrilled that I'm here on location, but how could somebody do this in their own space, perhaps, or incorporate what this is going to do or the feeling that it's going to release in their own home or space?
Well, I have had friends do it in their backyard, have like a tarped off area, maybe in the corner of a fence. I've heard of that before. A girlfriend of mine, her husband set her up with a little mini smash room in their garage one time when she was dealing with stuff.
Best husband ever.
Yes, it was very sweet. And then also, you know, like working out, doing fitness, even like I know of a lady who instructs yoga and she does scream yoga. So there's like a ton of different, you could do that at home with a YouTube video, you know what I mean? So if you have something that you really want to purge and are looking for that cathartic release, it can be done at home for free as well. We're just here for, you know, people if it's in their budget or if they come with their therapist, it can be actually covered under your mental health benefits if you have them, because there's a talk component in our lounge for that. So there's a lot of options to make it more accessible.
So if I had maybe more of a limited mobility, how could I do something that would release this? I know you and I discussed beforehand, before we came out here, about clay, punching some clay. What other techniques could I perhaps use?
Yeah, you're referencing some old school Mr. Rogers there. He would say, pound some clay or scream into a pillow. Everyone has emotions and feelings, and sometimes we're just made to like repress those or just always have a smile on, and the answer to how are you is good, and it just comes by nature, but that's not always the case. So yeah, there's a lot of options to kind of get through some of that stuff. And talking to a friend or seeking actual therapy as well is really important. Talk therapy and traditional ones like that.
Well, let's put the physical component to the test.
I'm excited.
I'm in an fairly open space. I've got a barrel in front of me, and there's a keyboard on top of, this feels an awful lot like my keyboard, on top of the barrel. So I'm going to smash this with a bat.
Yeah.
So I'll just gear up.
Yeah, you go, girl.
All right.
Looking good, looking good.
Give it one more. Woo!
All right, you really made those fly. Here, I'm going to give you a vase now. If you want to walk
I'm just
this
gonna-
way. Yeah, I can take the bat.
Perfect. So
All
now I've got a
right.
vase in my hands. I'm
Nice
going to
big
flip my
one.
safety shield. I could hear those keys fly. That was amazing.
Yeah, all right, if you want to come this way a couple
Okay.
steps. The floor is pretty clear.
All right, so I'm going to throw this vase at a wall, right? That's where I'm aiming, is just directly in front of me. Let's give it a go. All right. Okay, that was fun.
Here, did you want to try one more?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I have one more vase
Right.
here for you.
Pop this right back down again. Safety first. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Woo. All right.
Looks great, looks great.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
All right, what did you think of that? Was there any surprises to the experience from last
I
time?
am vibrating. Like my whole body is so excited. I feel good. I feel really good. I didn't think I had anything to work out, but throwing things sure feels good. The keyboard was, yeah, that was pretty amazing. Now, I know you often do, I've talked to people about music and mood just in my travels and career. You do match music to meet the mood, correct?
Yeah, I do. I have specific playlists, and I can kind of catch people's vibe on what they might like. Or if I just have multiple appointments running through the 3 rooms, kind of rock or metal or something tends to be my go-to. We also listen to a lot of rap, and then we get the odd request for like classical or, you know, just like era-specific things, 80s hair or whatever. Yeah.
So somebody can incorporate music at home with screaming into a pillow to get this release, or they can set up a safe space, or they can come see you or a place in their area. What is the most requested item to smash? Is there one?
After people have been here and know how fun the keyboards are, they're kind of an essential part. Windshields are really popular, and then people just love the dishes, you know. I'll hear people yell for, and you know, they've got a golf club to some glassware, or you know, Opa and breaking dishes or whatever, just these fun little things that people do. So yeah, glassware, windshields, and then the electronics as well. Like, it's just also fun. And I find that people are often really surprised too at how much they enjoy it. Even if they're excited to come, they come out and they're like, wow, and oftentimes rebook. I think we have probably like each week about 25% of our clientele are repeat visitors because they just know they're gonna sleep well and wake up feeling refreshed the next day.
Nice, and better sleep is something I could use. Well, thank you so much for letting me come out and share your space and smash some stuff, and we'll see you all again next time.
Produced by Honeycut Studios. Host Bobbi Janzen. Accessibility consultant Sierra Roth. Special thanks to Smash Therapy Inc. Integrated Described Video consultant Ron Rickford. Content development specialist Jim Crisco. Supervising producer Jennifer Johnson. Director Programming Lisanne Gagne. Director Content Development and Production Kara Nye. Vice President Content Development and Operations John Melville. President and CEO David Arrington. Copyright 2024 Accessible Media Inc.
An AMI original production.